Forget everything that Hollywood has poisoned your brain with over the years through movies and paranormal investigation shows, the creepy settings and the spooky music. Forget it. All you need to know moving forward is the paranormal truth. On the Paranormal Truth, we like to preach reality. I don't mean Hollywood's version, I mean true reality. That is why it's been good for us to have a group like Rise Up Paranormal to showcase on this program. You'll find no drama here, just strong, intelligent, factual investigations.
You want to use one of the big ones outside then?
Yep. You got a 164-foot deck on those, so I would definitely use those outside. You gotta understand, what's gonna happen out there. You're gonna get things fooling around at night, not a problem. Other than that, I would use the smaller ones inside the house.
Yeah, too much IR for the big ones.
Unless we need them.
When is a castle not really a castle? When it's Smith's Castle in the village of Wickford, Rhode Island. This is what we picture when we hear the word castle. But that isn't the case here. It was nicknamed that because of its size and the fact that it was fortified after the original building, the Roger Williams Trading Post, was burned down by the Narragansett tribe during the King Philip's War.
This was the staging ground for the Great Swamp Massacre. The soldiers from Plymouth Colony, Massachusetts Bay Colony, and Connecticut came here. And from here, they marched off to South Kingstown, where the Great Swamp is, and attacked the fort there. Several were brought back here after the battle. 200 of them died. 40 of them are buried on this property somewhere.
One of the ideas of being able to find paranormal activity is some kind of great tragedy around the grounds. If that is your preference, Smith's Castle has it. The only incident of an old-school style hanging complete with drawn and quartering on American soil took place here. Congratulations, Wickford! Eventually, the property made its way through ownership from 3 different families: the Updikes, the Congdons, and the Foxes. It was also the site of a large dairy farm until it became a museum.
From May until October, every weekend we are open for tours. People can come in, and there are knowledgeable docents that will take you throughout the house and give you the history and tell you a little bit about the people that lived here and the different artifacts there are in the house. School children come in for tours as well.
Besides the castle itself, there is another building on the property that allegedly has some paranormal happenings, the administration building. Ken and company checked it out with Trish. The overall claims on the grounds and inside the building are seeing full-body apparitions and hearing voices. Once the game plan was settled and the equipment was set up, it was time to investigate. Chris and Julie headed up to the attic to start, while Ken, Tracy, and Wendy handled the first floor. You'll notice that this investigation is done with the lights on. Darkness is not required to get ghostly activity.
We should make note that that door seemed to jiggle and open last time we were here, so we haven't closed it entirely because we want to make it as easy as possible, but we have put a REM pod in front of the door so that way if it does open, we're going to know if it's a vacuum, if somebody opened the door from the outside, which I doubt. So we'll let it go that way for a little while, and eventually we'll just shut it and make sure it latches, because you heard the handle go. So with that said, we wanted to address whoever might be here tonight, specifically Benjamin Congdon. Mr. Congdon, if you're able to see and hear us tonight, we'd like to extend our friendship to you. Thank you for having us in your home. We're here specifically because you had a very traumatic event in your life. So we're going to kindly ask that if you're aware of us here and you have, what's that all about? I don't know.
I thought someone was coming through too. Because I almost heard it before. It
Yeah,
was something on the other side.
What are you saying, that there was footsteps preceding it?
No, there was like
there was a
click.
clicking sound, like somebody.
Okay, can we close it and see how far it swings again? And just sort of let it open. Okay, it's weighted to open, so I don't know. Give it a good close and let's see what happens.
We did that last time.
Yeah. Okay. So, Mr. Congdon, I'm sorry about the interruption, but I wanted to address you on a very personal matter. It's my understanding that for whatever reason, you took your life in this room. And because it's a personal nature, I can understand that maybe you don't want to share any of that with us as far as your intentions, as far as whatever motivated you to do that. So I understand that. I just say this respectfully. If you'd like to share that with us, if you can speak to us or in some way acknowledge that you're here, we appreciate that. Okay, I don't mean it to be a disrespectful question, but people that are alive in our time who take care of the house have always wondered what your motivation for that was. Can you see and hear us right now? Are you capable of letting us know? Is there a sound you could make? Is there a way you can communicate, speak to us?
EVP session, Chris and Julie up in the attic. I always wondered why we went to attics. If I was a spirit, I don't think I would hang out up here.
I wouldn't either. Oh, I can turn my light off.
Well, if there is any other spirits up here, there's 3 of us up here. I don't know if there's someone else up here that may have passed or been part of this location and at some point in its history. If there is someone up here like that and you would like to communicate with us, that's why we're here. You know, may seem weird at first, people actually coming to talk to you. May take some trust that we're not here to chase after you, we're not here to hurt you, we're not here to get you to leave. We have no ability to do that. And no intention to. Would you be kind enough to say hi?
Has anyone ever tried to come in here beyond us and tried to communicate with you? I know recently more and more people are attempting to do that. Siren. More and more people are attempting to do that now. Does this disturb you in some manner at all? I'm just trying to find out if you're willing to talk to us. First, if you're capable of doing that. If you're capable of affecting the environment in some way, do you think you could do that? If you can move something in the room for us, we'd appreciate it. I promise you, if anything's out of place, be more than happy to put it back. We'll replace it. No one will be the wiser. I know there isn't a lot in the house that belong to you, but is there anything in this room that reminds you of an object that you once owned? Or something that you used? The open hearth, the fireplace, for instance. Let's try to reach out to Richard Updike, whose office is right behind that door that I'm looking at right now. Richard Updike, Esquire, an attorney. Which one? You didn't close anything behind you, right? All right, let's take a peek. I wanted to go back around to where the recorder is anyway, guys, so. Huh. Hello. Mr. Updike, claim this is your office. Are they correct? This where you practiced here? I've come to the house today to try to reach out, communicate with whoever may want to be here. The people that are the staff now that take care of the house are sure that they've had some experiences where they seem to see people, former residents here occasionally. Can you show yourself intentionally?
Are you scared to make contact? Nervous? Like I said, I mean, you have to trust me here. We've done this before. We've talked with spirits. They've opened up. They've communicated. And we've come back over and over again to some of these locations because they want to communicate with us. Here's your chance. Is the stairs right behind me? Okay.
Do we have the door open or closed downstairs?
Close. Close.
Okay.
I usually don't like to stand in front of the stairs, just in case I get a little push or something. You never know.
Can you let us know where you are right now? Can you make a noise?
Yes.
Did you have like a high pitched? I heard almost like a long exhale.
Yeah.
Did you exhale?
No.
Did you hear? It was like a long exhale. I thought at first it was you, and then you were shifting.
It was almost wheezy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, we've got 3 recorded in there.
Nada?
We just got a long exhale. It sounded like a long, high, wheezy exhale. Both of us heard it.
Yeah? Okay, did it for you. You call them out. Yeah, they did it for you guys.
We were talking about the lead tea set when we heard it.
Are you making an attempt to let yourself be known? Are you exasperated about something? Can Mr. Congdon or anyone else here speak for him? As to why the decision was made to take his own life? It's a difficult question, I understand. If you choose not to answer it, I don't take any offense to that. We're not here to judge you by any means. What's done is done. I hope you found a better place or whatever peace that you were looking for. I hope you found that. But there's a gap here. There's a lack of understanding as far as why that happened. If you're willing to share that with us, there are a lot of people who would like to know. I just wanted to let you know that you're not forgotten here.
If you prefer to do something away from us, the floor below us or on the other side of the attic, that's fine too. Or we're not saying you have to come out and stand next to us if you don't feel comfortable. Maybe you just want us to leave.
It was pretty quiet up in the attic, so Chris and Julie moved down to the second floor. Back on the first floor, Ken, Tracy, and Wendy were getting more sounds.
How do you see yourself right now? Do you see yourself as we do physically, arms, legs? I heard that, but I'm not sure if it was me walking.
Sounded like
Yep.
yeah.
No, that's higher register than a foghorn. I didn't know. I took a step just when it happened.
It almost sounded to me like a
Exactly what I heard. Dave's got it. I thought when I took a step that but I don't think so. Okay.
No, I would say it happened. It happened twice. The first time he wasn't moving.
Okay, we'll go back, mark the audio, say, what, 30 seconds ago, 40 seconds ago? Okay, Dave's tagging that outside right now anyway. Again, I don't know if anybody's ever tried to come in here and really have a conversation with you. This may be very odd to you, like, why do these people want to know about me? It's a fair question. Did you hear that again?
Yeah, I heard it again. The first time it happened, I thought, oh, Marcel and Jen must be getting here. They're locking the car.
There's no motion sensor in here, right? I don't see any. Okay.
The only time they were hearing a potential voice was when Ken would be moving, so they were thinking squeaky floorboards. Nothing else came about during the first investigation on the second floor or in the former trading post area. But when the crews got back to home base, Dave had some interesting information about noises that were heard in the dining room area.
Was there a Mel sitting on the table in there?
Yeah, on the floor. There was a REM pod on the floor. The Mel was on the table.
Mel was on the table, yeah.
Okay. When you guys all went in the other room, you were talking about Mr. Condon. As soon as you left the room and went in the other room, the Mel beeped exactly 4 times and stopped. It's on the recording, I got it. When you came back in the room, as soon as you two entered, you can hear the exhale. Like, here they are again, you know,
You're
like
great.
that.
Will you ever just go away?
The sound that you guys heard, the child voice, it was a child.
See-
It was not a male after that. It was 3 distinct child voices like they were saying,
See, and that's why I was thinking of the tapping on the outside of the door, like almost they were afraid to
at
come
first-
in because we were grown-ups.
At first, I had to think of the layout of the house of where you were because I thought it may have been a seagull, but it wasn't. The more I listened to it, it was not a seagull. It was not a seagull. It was in the room with you. There are 2 other sounds in that room, at 2609 and 2716. I can't even figure them out, but they were right as Ken was trying to say, you know, I'm gonna anchor. It came right in with him saying it, so it's in there.
It was time to head over to the administration building. Dibs were called by Julie, Tracy, and Wendy.
So if there's anyone in this home that can hear me, my name is Tracy, and I've come with 2 of my friends, Wendy and Julie.
Hello.
Hi. And we are here for the evening. We're actually, primarily, we were focused next door at the actual castle, but we also wanted to come over to this house here. As we understand, it was part of the original building, and it was actually attached over there. And we were hoping to perhaps interact with anybody that might be here and willing.
Do you enjoy when a lot of people come to visit the property?
People have weddings here and sorts of parties. Do you see those happening?
All right. Hello. I wanted to come up here, reintroduce myself. My name is Ken. Again, it's very, very nice to be here in your home. Thank you for having us. I have some friends with me. I have Christopher, I have Marcel here, and I have Jennifer. And it's nice to be here. We were hoping that if you're willing and capable of doing that, that maybe you can speak to us tonight. You know, I hope you find this appropriate that we're in one of the bedrooms. I was just admiring the 4-poster bed here. I'm not sure if it belonged to the original owners, but still a lovely piece of furniture. I'm specifically looking for Mr. or Mrs. Smith. If you're here and you can hear and see us in the room, is it possible you could let us know with a sound or by speaking to us?
It's a REM. It's like a built-in REM pod on there. That's what keeps going off right there.
Okay. Am I setting it off?
I don't think so, because you're not going into any of
It's
this.
a direct...
It's not shadow. The shadow of the right, the red light on the right would be going
Okay.
off.
So it's a direct beam, it's not a fan. Okay. Yeah, cool.
See, that was shadow. He just walked by. It's a different kind of beam.
I have to tell you that it's a little awkward because here I am, I'm in your home, we're all here, and we're still in the process of learning about you. And I'm sure as time goes on, we'll learn more about the family, and I'm sure the questions we ask are going to make more sense. So if I feel a little awkward about that tonight, please understand, and I hope you accept the notion that we're here with the utmost respect for you, for your home, for all the incidents that happened here. We know the house was burned down. We know there were hostilities with you and the Narragansett tribe. We know that you once traded here. We know that Roger Williams, the founder of our state, was a part of this. It's a very, very significant home. And being historians, we're interested in that. And what better source to go to than the people who lived here? So specifically, Mr. or Mrs. Richard Smith, if you'd like to come forward right now, speak to us, or perhaps make a sound in the room, do something along these lines. What I'm doing, if you can mimic this or move something, we'd appreciate it. Can we start out by asking if you can hear and see us in this room right now? Could you give us some kind of sign or indication of that, please? If you'd be so kind.
Weird and annoying. Why would that do that?
No idea. And the light came on, alright. Dave, we're outside now.
What kind of bird makes that noise? Sounds like it's coming from the water area.
Yeah. We should go down there.
By the water? Yeah. Well, over there is where that like historic geological site is, by the trees.
This is where they say come off here.
Yeah. I know. Fish or cats. No, this is like, I'm literally thinking like the outside at night is like my fear. Like trees creep me out. Yeah, I don't know why. It's like they're all gonna go all Harry Potter and start like moving around. Wow, it is windy.
This is an opportunity. Don't do it for us, do it for yourself, for prosperity, for the ages, so people know. There's got to be more to it than that, because that's all everybody ever talks about. Come in there, he hung himself in the room. We understand that. Isn't there something more? More that you want to say? All right, I'll open up the floor to whomever is here. Whoever might be here, what do you have to say about that? Did you know Benjamin Congdon? Did you live in this house? Are you part of his family? Are you part of the Smith family?
Did you work for them? Freaky foreign hair.
Like a handful of bees.
Yeah.
It's coming through the shutters, I think. It's windy out.
Well, it would be interesting if maybe someone is here that worked for the family. Maybe you knew that inside story. Maybe you knew that secret. And I know as a servant, you're not really privy to just give up information and talk to people. But Benjamin isn't here anymore. And people think he just hung himself and no one knows why. Maybe you can help Benjamin out. Maybe you'll never see him again, but his story is not one that's happy. Give him us something happy about Benjamin. Something we can leave here and go, okay, well, yeah, he hung himself, but you know what? He had a reason.
We've had the militia that have fallen in battle. We've had attacks, we've had tragedy. What the hell was that?
That's a different sound.
No, that's the same sound in our session here.
I know, but I mean, it's a different sound than that upstairs. That's what I'm trying to say. Because it didn't, it was here.
Sounded like females sound like kind of like forlorn. Before it was like a hoo, now it was like a hoo, hoo, hoo. That's what I heard.
The group is back from the house, so I don't know if that was them.
Well, I hope not.
It
We'll,
sounded here, but it could have traveled around the corner.
Dave's listening to us, so we'll ask him. They've been pretty good out there up to now.
You know, is there a female here? I mean, we seem to be talking about one, seem to be hearing one. Maybe that's why you're a little intimidated. There's a lot of male presence here today.
Yeah, take the next step. Take the next step. Little noises, if maybe we're wrong. Maybe I'm not hearing you at all. But if I am, take the next step. Come in here, do something, touch one of us.
I thought I heard it again. Hear me.
I did too, I was talking over it, I'm sorry.
Could you hear it better on?
When you said stop, I
Yeah,
heard
it
it.
was like right when I went like that. It was. Okay, so say there is a female here.
That's kind, listen, if you're trying right now, again, take the next step. Say what you want to say, whoever you are.
We remember the hangings, we remember the deaths, we remember the soldiers who were buried out back, but the joyful things are getting lost. So can you help us with that? Remember something joyful that happened in this house. Tell us something joyful. Tell us something happy. Open a door.
That's BS because I closed that thing. Even with the wires under it, it'll still close.
Okay, well,
Right? Yeah.
thank you.
Let's just let's just go with it till we prove it otherwise.
Yeah. The door open. Great. Thank you.
Welcome.
Joy is a great thing to remember. I mean,
Here's the thing. What was the click? There's got to be two things,
Yeah.
either the handle turning or the latch itself coming out, correct?
oh, I'm.
If it's not latched, it just comes in. We're going to try it again. Because we've done that before, and Wendy just let it go. I didn't think anything of it because the door, the way it's hung, will swing by itself that far.
Yeah, and she only mentioned that the door way down there opens all the time on its own. But maybe there's more to it. Maybe you're here with us. Maybe you like the stories of happiness. You know, we came here to meet you, and if that was a way to show it, shutting it would really be a way of showing it now. I don't know if you have the ability to do that now that you've opened it.
Yeah, I hope we're not asking too much, but if you could close the door,
Yeah,
that'd be fantastic.
There is a chance that the door did not fully close due to the wires under it, but as Ken said, he shut it tight so it latched. Besides, you can clearly hear the door unlatch in order for it to open up.
Open a door.
That's BS because I closed that thing. Even with the wires under it, it'll still close.
What is that I hear? someone is on the other side of the door opening it and then backing away? If you have been watching The Paranormal Truth, though, and you saw my documentary, The Reality of Ghosts, you would know that I don't stand for that kind of crap. By the way, neither does Ken DaCosta. This is the 4-screen look at their DVR setup. From the kitchen camera, you would see someone sneaking in to open the door. But you don't.
I saw it and I heard it. We heard the click in here.
Well, we heard the click
But-
before.
Yeah, when
the
it
last time.
too.
I know that.
But
I told you.
also-
Hey, let's,
But also, the door right behind Julie opened in here. See the door stand behind Julie? It went this way, in toward us.
It opened quite a bit, and you said something about it felt like a breeze
Yes.
just came through. And this opened quite a bit, and that opened a little bit. We were just standing here,
It happens a lot.
so it came right through the house.
the thing is, there's no vacuum because over there, every door to the closet's open, the rooms that connect the rooms, the doors are open, there's no vacuum.
When Chris asked, can you tell us something about joyful times? As soon as Chris ended, you hear click, 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 and then I hear you say, what was that? And I'm watching the door.
We thought you were coming in.
No.
That's why we were like, oh, open the door.
No.
No, wait. There's no one at the door.
No, and I heard you say, I thought Wendy was gonna be standing at the door.
Yeah, or
They
something.
never left this room, they were in here with me.
Well, obviously there was
And
no
we
one at the door.
heard, we could hear it. And the female voice that you
You got
could-
it too?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the same one when you were first in there. Now, I don't know if it's that stupid bird outside or not,
No.
but it's in the room.
The bird's different.
It's in the room and it's very
I've heard the
soft.
bird from every room now.
It's clear.
So,
It's clear, it's got a wah, wah.
Once you close the door, you have to turn the knob. So your latch clears.
Or it opens.
There's no other way because it's just gonna hit. Okay, so when I first went in the room, it hit, I turned it, but I mean, I didn't slam it because I got wires under there. But it's enough that, like when these guys tried it, the bottom of the door sticks. It's not just gonna open.
it's all on this.
Right.
From the time of you guys walking in the room, you going to the door, shutting it, you can hear it and watch. I mean, step by step.
But here's the thing that gets to me about it. If you go over there and open that door, you turn the knob, the door's gonna open. The bottom sticks, makes a distinctive sound, that squeaking. Before that door opened, all of us in there, cameraman, me, Chris, click, click,
And the door opens.
We didn't hear that pulling sound.
and then that thing opened just as easy like butter.
You can hear it
You know.
on this.
I didn't get too freaked out or excited about it first, 'cause I'm like, eh. But after we went in there for 10 minutes and we all tried it, it's just kind of like, that's not the way the door
And
opened.
every time you tried to debunk it by moving the door, you hear the squeak in the audio. But I saw it actually opening. I heard the clicking
Here's the thing.
and saw it opening, but never heard that squeak.
We're gonna go back on that. And you're gonna see me go into the room. And you're
And
gonna
shut it.
see me shut that door
Yeah, I
when
know.
we started our session. Now, the tail of the tape here is
If you twist.
you gotta see me turn it and all the
Yeah.
rest of that stuff. If I don't do that, then we got nothing.
No.
And if I
I
didn't do
watched
it, then
you do it.
then we walk away.
No, I watched you do it because see how I have this in full screen?
Yeah. You couldn't have shut it unless you turned the door knob.
I
I've
had
tried
this in
8
full-
million times to try to figure out how to shut
It's
that
gonna
door
boom,
without,
boom, boom, boom,
and it just
boom.
falls open.
I'm not watching the rest
It's
of the
like,
house.
That thing is the other,
Yeah,
it's,
it hits
it's
and
wrong.
opens. It hits and opens.
In other words, the flat
Yeah.
part's going in instead of the beveled part. When the beveled part hits, it goes itself. That door is backwards. The beveled part's on the outside.
It's
So
almost
that's why it
impossible to
just
shut
hits
it without turning the doorknob because it just
See,
opens.
the girls are doing it right now. They're in there. And
Oh,
this is
they're-
what I watched, you guys.
All right, I know we were in here just a little while ago. We were talking to a bunch of people. The door opened. Whether that was you or not, we don't know. It could have been you, and we're not going to ask you to do it again. If you feel like it, interact with us whatever way you can. We think we were talking to a female. So we brought some more females in. I know there was a lot of guys in here before, and maybe you feel a little bit more comfortable now. Is there a female with us? Anything. A noise, a bang. Yes, you can open the doors again or the shutters. Or am I wrong? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong and off track, and maybe you're a male, maybe you're a child, could you let me know now some way?
All right, what we're going to do here is we're going to do a little experiment, and we're all aware of the spirit box and the obelisk, the puck, and you know, all of these things that have a database of words, and because of the energy contained in a room, that a spirit might be able to manifest itself verbally through that. So we're going to do a little experiment with this. And first I want to introduce all of us. My name is Ken, it's Marcel, Jennifer, it's nice to be here. We are aware of where we are, and that this was once the Babbitt farm, a dairy farm. And then the Fox family eventually took over here and continued that. And it was a very successful farm. So we're here tonight under the chance that one of the families or some members of the family may still be here, who still may call this their home, who linger here for whatever reason. That reason is your own, whether by choice or not. So we want to reach out to you tonight and give you an opportunity to speak. And I'm not sure if anybody's ever been in here and tried to do this, but it's really very simple. If you can speak to us somehow, we'll be able to hear your voice. I promise you that, without going into a big explanation. Just, I'm going to ask you to put your faith in us that we'll be able to hear your voice. If you can speak, it'll come through. We'll be able to hear this. If there is another way you can communicate with us, whether that's through a sound like a knock or a bang, something along these lines, somewhere in the house, if you're capable of that, or if you can move something, or I don't think anybody would have a problem with a light touch on the shoulder or clothing if you want to make physical contact with us, but we're going to give you an opportunity to speak to us in any case. So that's what we're here for. So we're going to ask you to put a little faith in us. At what point, how many head of cattle did you have here? I know it was a dairy farm, you had dairy cows. How many head at one point? Could you give us a number?
Yeah, was that someone's stomach?
Not me.
No?
Nope.
No, I don't think it was me.
Okay.
I definitely heard it though.
About 350, I thought, from after listening to this.
Okay. Now, I know that the land looks much different. We're seeing pictures of it, and I know that you were here in the 1920s and the 1930s, so, you know, photographs and things like that, they existed then. But we saw some photographs, even some taken from the air, looking down over the farm. And we're impressed by how large the farm was. Must have been very, very successful. Did you have a lot of hands that were working here? Do you employ a lot of people, a lot of farm hands? So we brought all these things here to make it as easy as possible for you to speak with us, communicate with us, send a message. You know, we don't have a crystal ball and what you would call a medium and all these people. None of us are that. We're just curious, want to learn more about the property. We were invited here by the people who, to hell.
Freaking flashlight just turned on.
Yes, it did. That's, all right. I want to go on the record here as saying that I did nothing to that light. This isn't the old Hindu flashlight trick where I unscrew it. I did nothing to that light.
Oh, so it just completely
It just can't,
turned
no,
on.
Whoa.
Come on.
Honestly, I did nothing to that light. Oh my God.
You're ready then.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Nice.
All right, I want to ask a favor. Obviously, we're all a little surprised here because my torch, my flashlight, just came on by itself. If you did that, thank you, first of all. Is there some way that you could you shut it off for me? Now that you know how it works and you can do that? Could you go ahead and do that, please? I'm not going to keep asking you. You just, whenever you feel like shutting it off, can we get, do you get a shot of the back of the flashlight, right, and all that stuff? You know, you have it, right? So there's, no, I mean, that's nuts.
You'll see it shining.
Okay. Boy, I lost my train of thought.
That has a switch, right?
It's got a button in the back.
Yeah, that's like mine. It has a button in the back.
That's not even I borrowed that.
Wow.
As I left the table. That's not even my flashlight. I left mine in the room. I didn't want to go back in there for the third time.
It's not one of those they turn on and
No,
get right to the right.
you don't
Yeah,
turn
I
it
think so.
or anything. You got to press the button in the back.
Wow.
Seriously, wow.
Besides the flashlight coming on, which may or may not have been paranormal, nothing was going on in the administration building. In Smith's castle, no more doors were opening up on their own, so Chris, Tracy, Julie, and Wendy headed upstairs.
Hopefully there's an end and then it'll fall off. Hopefully this is scary enough for more.
Oh, it'd be so great if a spirit just pushed the bench forward. I just see 3 shadows fall. Well, we moved upstairs. If there's any spirits or anybody up here, I mean, you.
Ourselves Team Obvious.
Yeah, Team Obvious. We're upstairs. If you can hear me downstairs, we're now upstairs. You know, we've done the talk. We've said it a million times today that, you know, we're here to meet you. We think we met somebody. I don't think we met everybody. So could you join us in here?
The great thing about this floor, though, is that you don't have to join us in here for us to know you're with us in the area. Other rooms, you probably heard them when we walk through, they have devices that will make sounds if you walk around. You could do that if you're uncomfortable coming right in here with us.
Yeah, if you don't like them, you could even kick them over. Throw them. Did you leave us? I know you're around. I know you're here. Have you given up on us? Is your energy gone? What can we do to help you? Help you communicate? Do you want us to turn off all our equipment? Is that bothering you? How can you let me know to shut off the equipment? What can you do to just tell me to shut off the equipment? Shut off the lights and shut off the cameras.
Although things got quiet compared to what was going on earlier in the night, Rise Up did a little more investigating before they called it a night.
Open a door.
That's BS because I closed that thing. Even with the wires under it, it was still closed. When I was there before the crew came down and Chris came down, I had closed that door to give us a little bit of privacy and not a lot of outside interference. So we had wires going into that room. So we didn't latch the door. When I closed it, it was enough of sort of like a shim to keep the door closed. So I wish that I could say it was latched and all the rest of that stuff. But my conundrum with that is when the door opened, in a split second before it did, we heard hardware. We heard what would be the doorknob. And we went back and tried to recreate that. We spent an hour closing, opening the door, pushing on the door, pulling on the door, touching this, touching that, try to get that sound again. The only thing that we could do that replicated that was actually touch the doorknob and move it. Because even though it was unlatched and up against the wires to kind of jam the door closed, we tried to open it then, and it was just a matter of simple pressure on the door and it would open. And if it was really jammed in there would have been sort of like a vibration of the thing just popping out. So what I can't explain is the idea of that latch, of the noise. I don't have an explanation for why a door makes a sound like that when there's no locking mechanism there that's present at that time. So the only thing I can think of is that there was pressure on the doorknob of some type to pop that open. So there weren't any strings on the doors, there was no sleight of hand or anything like that. So I'm going to stop short of saying a spirit opened the door, but it's something that I really can't explain, coupled with the idea that since then, there have been at least 2 other instances of doors opening in that place that were latched. We're just curious, want to learn more about the property. We were invited here by the people who, to hell.
Freaking flashlight just turned on.
Yes, it did. That's, all right. I want to go on the record here as saying that I did nothing to that light. This isn't the old Hindu flashlight trick where I unscrew it. I did nothing to that light.
Oh, so it just completely
It just can't, no, I.
Whoa.
Come on.
As far as flashlights coming on, there's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of times people like to screw the back out and everything, so it's supposed to make it easier for the spirit to be able to manipulate it. But to me, anytime you take a piece of equipment and alter it from its intended design, you open up a lot of variables there. In those cases, even though the contacts aren't touching, any kind of vibration can cause an arcing and make the flashlight come on. Or, some people posit that there's a heating and cooling of the casing and things like that. So I think you got to factor that in when you're looking at flashlights and things like that. I mean, I've seen some kind of remarkable things with flashlights and everything like that, but I'm not sure if we have to ask the light 50 times if there's someone here, and then it finally comes on and everybody goes crazy and says, oh, look, you know, there's an answer. So I don't know. I mean, I don't put much faith in that. It was a little odd. I'll give you that. I'll give you that it was a little odd, but we weren't able to repeat it, so I take it for what it's worth.
You could communicate with us somehow. A knock, a bang, a whistle, anything that you could possibly do. You could communicate with us somehow. A knock, a bang, you could communicate with us somehow. A knock, a bang.
Ken said this sounded like a male voice, and despite it being very quick, they got "I hear voices" out of it, as you could see from their footage. What's interesting here is that you hear all three female investigators speak. Then there is that fourth voice saying what sounds like, "see ya," but it's a stretch for that period of time. Unless, of course, there was a more contemporary voice following the ladies.
Anybody up here with me right now? Mark audio.
This is what Ken calls a classic case of disembodied voice. He was on the second floor in the spare bedroom and the only one in the house at the time. He heard the voice live at the time, and when he checked back later, he found he wasn't wrong.
Whose footsteps?
Do you hear those?
Yes, I do.
I was trying to figure that out.
They're rhythmic.
This was from a different session when Rise Up went to Smith's Castle before our time there. You hear Cody and Ken. Cody wasn't a part of our investigation. This gives you an idea of the activity that seems to happen at the castle.
That's it.
Good evening.
Did you just say something?
Me?
Yeah. Just now. That's it.
Good evening.
Did you just say something?
Me?
Yeah. Just now.
Same night, Ken and Cody are headed up to the same bedroom to set up where they heard all those footsteps. As they walk in, Cody hears a voice say, "Good evening." Thought it was Ken, but not so much. Thanks for watching Rise Up Paranormal's investigation of Smith's Castle in Wickford, Rhode Island. I'm Dan Ginden, and I've been seeking out the paranormal truth.